Okay, we're going to look at something called mixed fractions and top-heavy fractions. The top-heavy fractions are also known as improper fractions. Basically, a top-heavy fraction is when the numerator, the number on the top, is bigger than the number on the bottom. And a mixed fraction is when we've got a whole number alongside the fraction. So 1.5 would be a mixed fraction, whereas 3/2 would be the top-heavy fraction. So by here, for example, 2.5, a mixed fraction, you've got the whole number 2 alongside the fraction a half. But saying 5/2 is exactly the same way of saying it, except for it's done as an improper fraction, a top-heavy fraction. So how do I change a mixed fraction into a top-heavy fraction? Because they're actually exactly the same thing. Well, all I've got to do is multiply the whole number, this number on the left, by the number underneath. So in this case, I've got 2 times 2, giving me 4. I add on the numerator, giving me 5, and that gives me the numerator of my top-heavy fraction. And all I got to do then, underneath, I put the denominator 2. So this is exactly the same thing, because if I say I had 5/2 of a cake, I would have 2.5 cakes. It's just sometimes useful that we are able to work with top-heavy fractions, or sometimes our answers come out as a top-heavy fraction and we have to then change it into a mixed fraction, a mixed number instead. So multiply the whole number by the denominator, the number underneath, and add on the numerator, the number on top. In this case, 2 times 2 plus 1 is 5. And then just put the denominator, the number underneath, and the bottom. So how then do I go about changing a top-heavy fraction to a mixed number? So we're going to look to see how we change it back. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is divide the numerator, the number on the top, by the denominator, the number underneath. So 5 divided by 2 is going to give me 2 with a remainder of 1. The number of times that it's gone into the denominator has gone into the numerator, that is going to be our whole number. So this is going to give us our whole number. And then the remainder that we have, is going to give us the numerator of the fraction part. So then looking, how do we work out which number we've got to put underneath? Well, here we've got the denominator over here, we just simply put that underneath. So I look at how many times the denominator goes into the numerator, twice, so my whole number is 2. I look at the remainder from that division, which is 1, that's going to be my numerator, and then my denominator is going to be the denominator of the top-heavy fraction. And that's how we convert top-heavy fractions into mixed numbers. Like I said, it's important to know this because when you're multiplying fractions or adding fractions, your numbers might come out as a top-heavy fraction, as an improper fraction, and you'll need to change it over into a mixed number.